shoot.
Hello, hello.
Hey,
Hey.
we have some crazy people getting on my feed lately.
Oh no. That's
What is
weird.
this? Isn't that weird? I swear.
Who knows? Listen, that's Instagram life for you.
What is going on?
I have no idea. No idea. Let's see.
It's so good to see you. I haven't
Same to
seen you in
you.
like ages.
It's been a while. It's been a long time. Like this is 2020. Has it been? Can you say a
Like almost
year and a half
a
too?
year and a half. Yep.
Really?
Yeah, crazy.
But I know I've been following you and like all of the stuff you've been doing. So congratulations on that. I can't keep up with
Thank
you.
you. What? Whatever. We both busy and doing our thing. For real, for real.
True. That's true. That's true.
Yeah. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Same
Like
to you. Same to you.
I remember the talk that we had when we had lunch, and you was like, I want to do this, this, this. I want this in here. I want my photos in here. And I was
Right.
like, and now I see like everything that you said.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
it's been I'm gonna take my AirPods out. Give me a second.
Mm-hmm.
All right, can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. What I was saying
Good.
was is that it's definitely been a journey. If it took a year and a half to do that, just imagine how long it took to get to the stuff that I've been doing recently.
I know.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
You published everywhere. I saw that your Switzerland photographs and
Yeah.
stuff.
Uh-huh.
You got to tell me about all of that. Like I want to know everything.
So, where should I start? I guess I can start in
Well, let's start from the recent stuff like
recent stuff. Okay.
COVID and
Yeah.
those beautiful photos of protests. Like
Yeah.
you get all into like everything, the feels. But that's your thing though. That's your
Yeah.
thing. You capture people at their essence, and that's what you do.
Well, thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. But yeah, it's so yeah, I mean all of the work that I've had the fortunate opportunity to photograph has been because of the protest stuff. Like I honestly went out there just to take pictures. I had no other intention other than that, just to be like, okay, well, I was here. And I almost didn't go because I didn't know. And plus, that was my first time
Yeah.
photographing a protest. So,
Mm-hmm.
I came back home and my grandma, she asked me where I was. I'm like, I'm at home, after I had taken my photos.
Mm-hmm.
And she was just like, I'm just trying to see where you were. And when I looked on CNN, I saw the police car on fire in front of the CNN. And I'm like, oh no. Like I was long gone. I mean, it was already taxing your mental and on your spirit, like
Really?
physical.
Yeah.
So you know, I just kind of tapped out for a minute, but I didn't realize that it gotten as serious as it had until I started watching TV. So
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean, and I, you know, I posted a few photos from that first night, and then I started seeing my Instagram numbers just start rolling down. I'm like, what is going on? I have no idea, but I'm just like, okay, well, maybe people are just seeing, you know, they're just seeing my photos and just like, okay, well, I want to start following you. And then I will say I had around 30, like 3,800 or so followers, and then in a week it turned to 10,000. So after
Wow.
that, that was more eyes, not only on the protest stuff, it's just my work in general. So it's
Overall.
just been a, like, right, it's just been a constant flow of inquiries, interviews, opportunities. I don't know. I'm usually taken aback by it. I still am, because it's still overwhelming. And you know, the conversations that I have with friends who are in the same predicament as me, it's just like, well, damn, it took this to happen for us to
Right.
kind of, like, you know, be seen. But you know, at the same time, we knew that it was gonna, the system itself was gonna have to break down anyway. So
Oh,
here's our
absolutely.
opportunity. Yeah, here's our opportunity, just like you know, with Black talent, and, you know, showcasing Black talent with the products that you feature. It's the same thing. It's like, we've been out here, so the stuff that you all are just seeing, this is daily life for us. So
Right. This is every
yeah,
day.
every day, every single day. So, you know, other than that, I'm grateful for all of the opportunities, and you know, just want to keep making y'all proud.
Yeah, you sure
Yeah.
are making me proud.
Well, thank
Definitely.
you. I
So,
appreciate it.
so tell me a little bit about your different companies. Like, you have several different things that you work on, or you're a part of. So, like, let's talk about the Authority Collective.
Well, yeah, so the groups like Authority Collective, Diversify Photo, and Woman Photograph, they're all three separate organizations that pretty much look out for all spectrums of photographers. So your Black, Indigenous, you know, people of color, also your LGBTQ, your non-binary, any spectrum of the person is represented in those three. There are some other photography organizations that are just like that, but those are the three that I associate with, and I've been working with a lot, along with another group called NPPA, which is for news photographers. I'm also a part of PPA, which is Professional Photographers of America. And even though they're more portrait and family photography based, at the same time, they're still helpful, because, you know, there are photographers who want to transition out of that space into more of like your editorial, commercial, documentary type of space. So, I mean, each of the organizations that I'm a part of, they have been helpful in growing my life, my lifestyle, the type of work that I do, and also, being able to be resources for questions that I have, such as the protests, more specifically Women Photograph, because what I like about them is that, of course, the entire group is women and non-binary photographers, but at the same time, we're spread out across the world. So I just remember reading a post about some of those photographers being in taking pictures in war zones. So that got me prepared for what things I need to take and what things I need to look out for when I'm in those protest situations. You know, I hate to compare it to war, but essentially that's what it looked like.
What it is.
So yeah, so yeah, that's what those organizations do, and more specifically, Diversify Photo is for Black and Brown photographers. It's a repository for Black and Brown photographers that are around the U.S. I do believe that they either will or have spread out internationally, but I know for sure it is an American-based, what do you call it, repository for photographers.
Directory.
So, yeah, it is directory. Yes. Yeah. So, you know, when we have editors that saying they can't find folks, you can, because it's there. It's not hard to find now. So That was another thing where every industry was like, well, we can't find a Black person here, or we can't find a brown person here. I'm like, yes, you can.
I don't
It may take.
understand that,
I
because
never
they
understood that
always
myself.
tell. I mean, the first thing that you can look up is LinkedIn and put
Yes,
photographer in it.
yes, you can. Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't. It's not hard at all. I
You
mean,
most certainly
Google,
can. Mm-hmm.
right?
You
LinkedIn is
most
like
certainly.
the grail of what everybody
True.
professionally is doing.
True. And
So,
I also realized, to piggyback off of that, I also realized, of course, when we're so ingrained in our own career, we kind of see
mhm.
the flaws of it too. And
Right.
I honestly think that there are, and I can't speak for all, but I think that there are some photographers who don't realize the magnitude of LinkedIn, because it's almost like the very moment somebody actually emails me, I go look for them on LinkedIn. I'm like, let me know
Hmm.
where you're working now. I know where you work now, but I also want to know where have you worked in the past, so that way I can get
Yeah.
an understanding of what your career path is and how we can help each other as well. So I
Right.
mean, because photo editors and folks that are in the ad space, they jump around. So I need
Oh,
to,
absolutely.
right. So they have a plethora of resources before I would. So
Hmm.
you got to use any of the social media stuff that we're on. Just use it smart.
Right. Absolutely. There's no
Mm-hmm.
excuse. It's really
No,
no, because when we hear that, we just be like, "Stop lying!
right,
Stop
right.
lying!
It's so
Stop lying to
ingrained. It's
us!"
like we know we're here. It's just a thing of again, those resources and people who actually want to find us will actually do it. So that's all
Right.
I got with that.
Right. Right.
Mm-hmm,
Right.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So let's talk about the opportunity of doing John Lewis um
His
his
memorial service.
funeral, and
Yeah.
just like, what was, did you have a relationship with him? Because, as you know, you had a lot of other photos before he passed,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and how was that?
Well, that opportunity came after photographing Rashard Brooks
Mm-hmm.
memorial service. So
Yep.
I actually photographed that for Getty. So
Mm-hmm.
those photos, I looked to see just where they landed. And they pretty much went in several places.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the way that I've described it to people who've asked me about that opportunity was while I was photographing the portion where they were crossing the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma.
Mm-hmm.
I was strictly in work mode because there were a lot of moving pieces. So I was aware of what was going on, but it was also like I need to get this honorable image of him, because it's maybe, I'll say 15 of us at most that were out there that were working for other folks, other
Mm-hmm.
outlets. So I'm moving around them, and I'm also being respectful to the situation at hand. But it really didn't hit me until I got back to my hotel when that part of the day was over, and then I saw the drone that was like over the water as he
Yeah.
was being carried across that Edmund Pettus Bridge, and that's when it finally hit me,
I
like,
hit you.
John Lewis is no longer here. It's just
Right.
that very real moment of it hurt to see, but it was also an honor to help archive such a gentle giant during
Right.
that time. Yeah, and I did the same thing when it came to his final memorial
Mm-hmm.
service as well. I was working with another wire service. I was working for Reuters. So though I didn't have the opportunity to be inside of the actual service, it was still an honor just to be among people who had similar feelings for John Lewis as I
Mm-hmm.
did. So
Right.
those moments are always more touching at times too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, what would you tell, like, other photographers, especially in that type of environment,
Mm-hmm.
to prepare for, because you have all this racial tension going on around you, and then sometimes you don't know the other photographers and what they are trying to focus on and what they're
Mm-hmm.
trying to show the world. It could be
Yeah.
negative. It could be,
Yeah.
they're just
Yeah.
there to just get a check or whatever.
Yeah.
What do you tell them?
That is a really good question. I'm going to answer that, but I want to tell you a story first.
Okay.
So, and it happened to be with at John Lewis's service. I had a photographer to approach me and tell me that the only reason that I got to photograph his service was because I was Black, and that was the only reason I got the job. And
Mm.
for two things. First of all, you had the guts to walk up to
To
me and
even
say,
say it.
right. And second, that proves that you don't know who I am, and not in this grandiose way, but you haven't looked up to see just what my talent is before you
Mm-hmm.
judge it on the fact that I'm Black. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying that because I'm usually the only Black, not only Black person, but also the only Black woman in situations like that. So
Right.
I have to like filter through people and also
Mm.
feel who I can actually connect with, because I can't. And that's just going to be the reality of the game.
Right.
But what I would, if anybody is in a situation like that, just understand that with so much changing so fast, I'm just going to be real. White folks are scared. White folks are scared of the fact that the talent that's always been there is being hired because of their talent more so of their race. And if they are being hired for their race, then you know what? Who cares? Because you all have had the seat for such a long time. So now,
Mm-hmm.
if you move over for a second, that's not going to mess up anybody else. There's 100 million or more jobs around here that you can do that you've
Right.
been doing before we got got some face time. So
Right.
in all of that, I'll just say be vigilant, stay strong in who you are, and just understand that your talent got you where you are first before it even
Right.
became a race thing. So yeah, that would be my most heartfelt advice to anybody that wants to do this.
Yeah. I totally agree on that. And I always think that once they open or are aware of our power and our
Mm-hmm.
glory,
Mm-hmm.
um, and our, I don't know if they'll ever be open to it, but
I doubt it.
that's not our problem,
Right,
really.
right. Mm-hmm.
But once Black people get the respect,
Yeah.
other I think other cultures will also get that respect,
Indeed.
because
Yeah.
it's like a transition. You know what I mean?
Right.
Once we
I
come
agree.
up, everybody comes up. You know what
I
I
agree.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's always been like that. You
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
see the first Black person, and then
Yeah.
you go on and see the Hispanics, or everybody,
Mm-hmm.
all the other cultures that's behind us, or not behind us, but just having those same
Yeah.
issues,
Yeah.
or being aware of other cultures'
Right.
issues
Yep.
that are having the same, but we're always the one that's taking the grunt
Mm-hmm.
of
Mm-hmm.
things, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Yeah, we are. And then, not only just thinking about Black people, but then you add woman, then you add
Right,
LGBTQ, then you add
right,
trans, and you just add all the other intricate parts of you that folks are just like, well, that's outside of my wheelhouse of understanding. So we just instantly
right.
don't like you.
Right,
Just go away,
right,
So
right,
it's definitely like this, at times feels like a triple-edged sword versus a double-edged, but you learn to endure, you learn to be resilient, yet you also understand that you have feelings and you need to decompress from those things too, because there's only
right,
so much that you can take, only so much.
right,
Mm-hmm.
right. Only
Mm-hmm.
so much.
Mm-hmm.
Um, um, I really wanted to talk about, because there's a lot going on in Georgia, and
Yeah.
you go back and forth from Alabama and Georgia, and I really want to talk about like the Stone Mountain
Mm-hmm.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's a lot going on, and what's that, Decatur, Stone Mountain, and just
Yeah.
um and just everything. So how was that, as far as with the rallies and the protesting and stuff like that there?
So Stone Mountain was, such a treat. It was one of those moments again where I had to, understand that of course this is real, but
Right.
in my mind, like I'm at work and I'm like, this is a movie. Again, I
Right.
understand it's real. I'm cautious because you have men on both sides, or not just men, but just people on both sides with weapons.
Mm-hmm.
At times it was confusing to know who was on what side, unless you were
Right.
unless you recognize, just seeing them from walking around. Being very cautious about where you are if you're standing in places where you're alone.
Right.
Also being in crowds. So no matter where you are, my head was on the swivel because I'm like, what's going on over here? I can't get
Right.
over there. What are you doing? Who did I just bump into? Like, oh, so you one of them. So I'm just like, I have to be very middle of the road and, very unbiased about what's going on. I mean, I can't show favoritism to anybody, especially doing such a reportage assignment as that. So I that was the first time that I felt fear.
Mm-hmm.
Again, mostly because I just couldn't. Everybody started blending in, and I didn't see a lot of Black people in that instance, but there were a lot of white people around. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
some people were obvious on the far left and those on the far right. But
Mm-hmm.
even then, when they had weapons, it's almost like the lines were blurred as to who was who. A lot of arguing, a lot of all lives matter rhetoric, a lot of we defend this flag, we defend this mountain, we defend it all. And that day they also closed that Stone Mountain was actually closed. So we were in downtown Stone Mountain while all of this was going on. So it was one thing that I am okay with not doing again. I actually told my photo editor, if I don't feel safe, I'm leaving. And I need you to understand that, because for one, I always know that I'm Black and I'm a woman and I'm a lesbian. So those three things I always like, okay, if they can tell I am, then I'm truly, I could be a target. Like, let's be real about it. I could be a target. So if I feel unsafe, I'm going to do what I can, get what I can, take my shots, send them to you, and I'm out. So yeah, I'm gone. And I have no problem telling you that, because, getting the shot of getting that image is not important. And there were times where I was just, kind of standing over people, just taking pictures. I'm like, I hope I got something, please. And I was like, okay, well, I'm out this crowd. Because it was, I mean, you had small pockets of people. Yeah, small pockets that were arguing with folks. And he had, there's one image that actually made it around to like NBC and CBS and a few other outlets, where it's this Black woman that was arguing with somebody with a Confederate flag shirt on. So I'm just like, what is going on? It's I don't want to laugh at it to make it, trivial, but it's like, it was the first time I actually heard somebody in real time say all lives matter. And I'm like, it's really people out here that think that.
Right.
Like you've seen it on TV and you've heard it. I'm like, that's wild. But it's another thing to actually experience it.
Feel the passion behind it.
Yeah, even when you're very passionate.
Even when you hear the N-word for the first, you hear it amongst your friends and or whatever, but hearing it and also probably hearing it towards you it's a whole nother effect when it comes towards you. Yeah.
Like, oh, they really think that.
Really? What do you mean? Everybody loves me.
Right, like, I'm gonna have to sit with that for a minute. You actually told me that. First of all, thank you, because I know how you feel. And two, oh, not me at all.
Not me.
Yeah,
and this was the thing. That's one of those things that you, if we all just sit down and kind of learn each other or talk to each other.
Right.
When you learn about somebody's background and what they've been through, you kind of, you are more aware, and those biases don't, ooze out too much.
Yeah.
We can have a discussion, we can have a disagreement or whatever, civilized disagreement, but we don't have to be so, I don't know, it's hard. It hurts.
I get it. And there were instances where you had, Black men that were trying to teach, those that believe in the Confederacy, those moments. And you saw those conversations going. I'm grateful to have seen that. But even then, it's like the tit for tat. And then that just kind of makes things blow up because we all fall into peer pressure sometimes. So like if my friend over here getting hemmed up, I'm gonna hem him up too. So it's like so I again, not to trivialize these conversations or these moments, but understanding like that the tones that either one of us are taking, it adds fuel to the fire on both sides. It's very unfortunate. I hate that we even have this society where we have to continuously talk about this. Jacob Blake, I mean, thank God he's not dead, but he was shot in the back 7 times. And that also brings up the conversation of like, I've only seen one video and I was like, one is enough. I'm not watching nothing else because I'm not that.
I haven't even seen it. I don't even want to see it.
That one, and I don't plan on it.
Yeah,
but I know that.
Me either.
Listen, because even after the protest, after I photographed the protest, I had extremely vivid dreams. Like what could have happened to me out there? So if I'm watching those videos, just imagine where my mind is going. And I would hate to have any psychological issues or PTSD just from seeing something
watching
like that. But yeah, I when I'm in situations like I was at Stone Mountain, I usually I go to my car, decompress for a little bit, get something to eat, try to go home and watch some cartoons because detached from what I just saw, because I'm gonna have to go right back into it later on. So by all means, I think everybody should have some type of thing that's theirs that they keep sacred to them to just remove themselves from that, whether that's staying off social media for a couple of days or whatever, because the news is gonna be there. So I feel like I
So what are your plans on doing in the next, I guess, a couple of months? It's 2020 is about to close, thank the Lord, but we don't know what's coming next.
Yeah, no idea. I am predicting that I will be on the election trail, whatever happens here in the South and Southeast, and that's all other than the assignments that I may just get randomly. But I just feel like that's going to be the main thing that I'll be on. I mean, we have Kamala Harris. She's also my soror, so I'm excited to see how that goes. And it's just the South, and it's a black woman that's running for VP, so that's exciting enough.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I just lost my thought. Sorry.
It'll come back.
Yeah, because I wanna gosh, I totally forgot what I was gonna say, y'all. I'm just so sorry. It was just a lot. I mean, it's just so much because me and Lindsay, we haven't talked in years. So this is just I'm just trying to get as much information. I know there's some artists would want to know how do you get these gigs? How do you get these what do they need to do? What are the simple steps to get a call from Getty and like that.
Yeah. Good question. Well, the first thing outside of the creative aspect is to be kind and to be open to the things that you may receive. Um, I've run into quite a few people, and this is beyond a respectability point, but I've run into a lot of people that don't know how to talk to folks, or they just don't know how to express what they
Articulate.
want and what they need. Articulate, yes. So that right there will not get you anything. So being being gracious enough to be open to whatever the opportunity is, but ask the questions of what you need or of what you're looking for. So
Right.
communication, and I think you know this. I used to teach public speaking, so
Right.
that is like that's the biggest part of how to get most opportunities. Just learning how to communicate the necessities of what you want. Because at the end of the day, if you don't express that, then you can't get mad at the person because you didn't say what you needed. So communication will definitely be the root to a successful career. Second to
And then
that,
knowing what you're worth.
exactly. And that was the second point I was about to make, just knowing exactly what you're worth. I want to add like an addendum to that, because adding not only knowing what you're worth, but asking the right people who you trust to tell you and help you understand what you're worth. I've seen far too many times, like even right now, a lot of Black photographers are getting like these amazing opportunities, but also some may be taking them for free, or some may be taking them for less. So yes, it hurts them in the immediate moment, but it hurts us collectively, because all you have to do is just ask us,
And
what's your advice? Just ask. It's not gonna hurt. I'm not trying to take your opportunity. If anything, I'm trying to help you. So don't sell yourself short.
I have a group of people that I've worked with, are really good friends. I look at them as family. That's like in the digital marketing. And like when I get a gig or a freelance and I'm not sure, I text all of them. Like it's like a group chat. Like, how much should I charge an hour for this? Like, so you kind of know not to like undersell yourself, and you're in here. And then also look at salary ranges and hourly ranges, and see where you are as far as locally of what you're if you're in Georgia, of course it'll be a little bit less than it is in New York. But if you're doing something in New York, maybe look at what their range is, and then find a middle ground of where you feel that you fit in.
Right, for sure.
Yeah.
And even beyond, like our salaries, I feel like I'm my mom or my grandma at this point. Like think about the latter part of your life. Like if I'm taking this picture today, and this has actually happened to me, if I'm taking this picture today, I hope to continue making some profit off of it 3 and 4 years down the line.
Talk a lot more about that. I would like learn more about that, because especially just art and period. And when it comes to photography, when you give those credits, get those credits from different networks and stuff, do they buy that from you, or do you still have the rights to it? Can you use it in a gallery show one day? Like, I want to just put all my work and blow it up and sell it. So how does that work?
That is a really good question. So I'm not sure how it works in the overall art world, but in the photography world, we do what we call licensing photos. So we can license a photo for however long, and sometimes the publication or outlet will give us the fee as to how much they want to pay, or we can charge what we want to charge. I have a photo of, let me take a step back. Every publication is different as to the embargo or the time limit they put on your work. So where there are some contracts where they want the first rights to publish or print the photo for maybe like 3 months, and then after 3 months it's released back to you, and you can sell, you can do whatever you want to. You also have those that are called work for hire, where you work for them, they've hired you, but they exclusively own your work. So you know, it really just depends on the contract that you sign with the publication. But I've had a lot of success with those who only put like an embargo on the photo for maybe 7 days, 14 or 21 days. And then after that, the photo is released back to me, and I can sell it to, you know, any other publication, in which I have done that with quite a few of my photos. So, you know, for photographers, you know, it feels like the stuff that we already have, we don't know what to do with it. Like you know, even wedding photographers, you know, as long as you have that release, and as long as it says, you know, in your legal documents. Of course, I'm not a lawyer, but I've worked with one, you know, extensively to talk about this. But even if the language in your wedding photography contract says like these photos could be used for stock or whatever else, you can use them for stock as long as you have that release and those model release from those folks. As long as the photo is yours, as long as you shot the photo, then guess what? You have every opportunity to sell that photo wherever you possibly can. I am a huge advocate for photographers not only making money with, you know, actually taking a picture, but what are you doing after you take the picture?
That is a master class.
Right. What are you doing after? So after that photo is on your hard drive for like 6 years, then what?
Right.
Then what? Like, are you going to do it for prints? Are you going to, you know, license them out for a television show? Is it going to be in a music video? Like, you have this, or is it going to be stock photos? Is it going to be on a stock website, as long as you have that permission to do that? You know, also thinking of other avenues of business. As much as I love photography, I don't feel like I'm going to be doing this for the rest of my life. I love it, but I don't see myself doing it for, you know, 50, 60, 70. I don't know. Things could change, but right now, if I have this very tunnel vision, I have the idea of by the time I turn 40, I'm going to start something else. Probably still do, well, not probably, I will still be a photographer, but I'm just thinking about my life later on. I mean, I'm 36. I got 4 more years. I may want to go on vacation. I may want to do, I don't know, I may want to finally open that hot dog stand that I've always been dreaming about. I don't know.
And take pictures of hot dogs.
Listen, this could be a new business venture. But you know, just have to be very mindful of, you know, the physical toll the gear has on our body, giving our mind some rest, taking some vacations. We may want to start families. I don't know. And we may just want to, you know, what am I trying to say? Also thinking about like health insurance now, life insurance, dental insurance, all of that. And I just, and that's not to, you know, preach to the choir, but I just hope that as we see so much success in our lives, that we do something that's going to be helpful for us down the road. Because, you know, God forbid I could lose an eye. Then what? Right. I really could. So what else can I do? Where can I best put my money, put my investment, and turn it into something that's going to be, you know, successful for me? So absolutely. Went off on another tangent. My bad.
That's all right. I kind of want to know what you're gonna do after this. That was a good.
Myself. But
I know, like, I mean, you've been doing this for years.
Yeah.
So like, I don't. I can understand, you know, trying to find or feeling that you might want to find something else to do when you're older.
Yeah,
and that's fine.
Yeah, it is. I mean, a lot of us transition into other things, and I mean, I transitioned out from being a public speaking professor to this, but I was also a photographer as I was teaching. So, I was gonna say something else. I'm like you, the thought has just went that way. But yeah, I want creatives overall to succeed. It's not easy. You know, we
It's
start
not.
from, it's not at all. Like we start from this very, you know, because we're already taught like, oh, creatives ain't gonna make no money. So why are you doing this? What's the whole
Right.
point of you doing this? So, and then when you get to the reason why you're doing it, you understand why you kept walking that straight and narrow path for yourself. So I just want us all to be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Creatives make the world go round, and we
they
need to get
do.
paid for it.
They do. And don't get paid for it for sure. Oh, I know I was about to say that I combine what I went to school for with what I do now. So I also have an online photography class. So that,
Yo.
yeah, so that's more money for myself. You know, more.
Yes.
And you know what? Let me just take the money part out. Though that is part of it, the education part of it is more to me than anything, because you know, I just see so many photographers who just need just like that little bit of inspiration, a little bit of help just to keep it going. So you're right. Yes,
You're
the
right.
world
Right.
would be bored without artists.
Absolutely, they will.
Yeah,
It
so,
would.
you know,
Art is life.
art is life. I mean, no matter what you're doing, there is an art to it. I have a friend of mine that is an engineering, and what she does with her model, I'm like, that is, I don't get it, but I get it. Like, we need you. So like, just like we need engineers, the world needs artists as well.
Artists.
Because if we didn't design the very things that the engineers needed, guess what? They would be doing it. So,
Right.
Yeah. So
Right.
art makes the world go round for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That is so true. Like that's my thing. That's my thing. When people be like, I'm not an artist, I was like, yeah, everybody is.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Everybody is.
Did you see how you prepared that food on that plate? That's art.
Right.
That's art.
Right. Right.
You put your
Right.
clothes together this morning? Art.
Art. You see how you put that gel on your head and made a swirl?
You
Art.
made a swirl? Art. It's the truth. It's the truth.
Absolutely. Well, I want to thank you. I want to end it on that because that's what it is. And nobody can say anything about that.
Nope.
Argue us down on that. And I really appreciate it. It's been good. It's good to talk to you.
Same to you. Don't be a stranger. Let's not be a stranger with each other.
Let's not be a stranger. I know there's a lot. The last 6 months have been crazy.
Very crazy.
And since Atlanta is open, other than everybody
Did it ever
else.
close though?
No,
exactly.
We didn't ever close. We probably closed for like 3 weeks. It was like, no.
Wasn't even 3 weeks. I want to say like 2 days. The folks was like, oh, so we just can't go to these certain places. Okay, that's all I need to know.
We can just go to the grocery store.
Yes,
okay,
so
we can do that.
At the grocery store. Got you. Okay, that's cute.
Got
that's
you.
Cute.
Cute.
Oh,
sad but true. So everybody, thank you for joining us. I'm just so happy to talk to you. It's just so good. And
but for real, don't be a stranger. Whatever there's, I can help you with, I'm happy to do that. Even if that's just pointing you to the right direction. I don't know, but just
absolutely. Absolutely. I will do that. Thank you, love.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
All right. Bye.